Hi, this is Ilma Art Studio's photograph for today. A beautiful fall color landscape that I took in one of the countrysides nearby Orangeville. Hi, check my website at ilmaarts.com for more artworks and photographs. Today I'd like to share let me just turn this because this is from yesterday. Sorry. I'll be talking about Matthew 24, verse 12. It says, "Sin will be rampant everywhere, and the love of many will grow cold." Here's my poem. Sin and indifference. The second coming of the Lord is near. War, conflicts, and violence will be here. There will be earthquakes and many disasters. Much deception and lies will happen thereafter. People will experience all kinds of tribulation. Many will grow cold and love isolation. Sin and indifference will be rampant everywhere. It will be a trap to keep people from going nowhere. Here's my essay. Indifference in Hebrew is adish, meaning couldn't care less. Some synonym to these words are emotionless, apathy, passivity, negligence, carelessness, inattention, unconcern, unimportance. A lot of people think that the opposite of love is hate. It is actually indifference on the other side of love. Many of mental illnesses and crimes are usually a product of people who were victims of an indifferent parent or caregiver. This is why negligence is also as harmful as abuse in children. Being indifferent shows that you also don't care for the Lord. It signifies selfishness. Hebrews has words for sin. The word pasha, or trespass, means a sin done out of rebelliousness. The word avera means transgression, and the word avone, or iniquity, means a sin done out of moral failing. My own definition of sin is to live out of God's truth and to live for the self. Prevalence of sin and indifference are signs of the end times. Prayer. Lord, guard my heart from indifference and sin. Reflection. What do we need to do to protect ourselves from being indifferent and sinful? I think one of the first things that we should do is to try not to live in isolation, because I think God created us for connections, for relationships. If we constantly live on our own, we won't develop that skill to interact with others, that skill to listen to others, the skill to be selfless. So the more we isolate ourselves, the more we become selfish, the more we only think of what we want, then the more reckless we become also, because when nobody is checking us, we don't need to be accountable for anything. And I think a lot of people who are indifferent maybe started out just by isolating themselves, and then they become numb to everything around them because they're only concerned about what they want to do. And I think the narcissistic tendency has like persons who are just focused about themselves and don't care about any other is a form of indifference. It's almost like I guess it's a way that psychology explains, but in the Bible, indifference is almost like narcissism. I think this is the reason why I have a very like one of my trigger words because I had post-traumatic stress disorder, complex PTSD, and there are words that trigger me when I hear it said, and is one of them is I don't care, or whatever, or when they just roll their eyes on me, which means that I'm not important, or they don't want to hear anything I want to say. It doesn't, it doesn't mean anything to them. So, and I think because when I was growing up, I constantly heard these words, or I was treated like I'm invisible because nobody cared about what I think, what I feel, who I am. So, and I think that it's very important that we walk in love, because when we walk in love, we cannot both be indifferent and loving. It's God is not indifferent. God is in all the details in our life. He cares so much about us. Every little detail of our life. He knows already what's going to happen to us. He knows already the future. He knows what's going on. He knows our heart. And yet, He is not indifferent to us. Now, in the Matthew 24, Jesus is explaining to His apostles that when the end times comes, there will be signs that they will know that the second coming, His second coming, is already there, and one of them is that there will be rampant sin and indifference. So when we see that so much in our world today, because there's so much violence and selfishness and greed and power and control and all this evil that is lurking around us today. So the only answer to these things is we don't have to be afraid that the end times are coming. In fact, we should be, if we're believers, we should be happy that the end times are coming, or the rapture is coming, because then that's when we know that the believers will be really saved by the Lord. So thanks for watching, and I hope you check my website at ilmaarts.com for more artworks and photographs. Have yourself a wonderful day. God loves you so much. And don't ever forget to be loving. Walk in love, never in indifference, and always choose to do good instead of sinning. Have a blessed day.